Welcome back to Big Apple Hockey. And I'm going to make this probably the shortest video I think I've ever done because I am at wit's end with this team. I've had enough. I've absolutely had enough. I've lost my patience with them. I've lost my patience with the coaching. I'm beyond just done. That's my name brand right there, my banner, whatever thing. I don't care. You know me, Filk. But I'm done. I'm sick and tired of this shit. I've watched this team for too long, and this is one of the worst games I think I've ever watched. I didn't even make banners for this. I'm not going to make banners for this. I'm not even going to do the good, bad, and ugly video because everything is ugly. Everything is ugly about this game. I've been pushed to a point where I'm tired of it. I even labeled the video on there with a picture of a dog taking a crap because that's what this was. New Jersey just taking a crap on the Rangers. And I don't know if Gallant did the whole Keenan thing where, if the players want to give up, then he wants to give up because Gallant just had no idea of what he was doing. He looked even lost on the bench. Like the challenge somehow was, and yeah, this says it all. You benched a kid that was actually playing good because the rest of the team decided not to fucking show up. I don't know what it is with this team. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on in the locker room. I don't know if they're partying the night before games or something. I'm not sure, but I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm sick and fucking tired of it. It's stupid. I mean, Mika Zibanejad looked like he was the only one that wanted to play. And Chris Kreider, great. You're the Alex Rodriguez of the Rangers now, buddy. Good job. 42 goals. You have to show for it. Another game where you didn't show up and you got your stats padded by a late power play goal. What a joke. What a joke. Yeah, I'm tired of this. I'm sick and tired of it. Adam Fox, if you don't want to play, sit your fucking ass down. Sit your fucking ass down. Because you're playing like an overpaid pile of garbage right now. That's what you're doing. If you're hurt, sit out. Ryan Lindgren, you don't belong on a first pairing anymore. You don't. He doesn't belong on there. These pairings have to be switched. They have to be switched. And some players have to be held accountable for playing like shit. Because the guys who should be held accountable, who are playing like shit, aren't. And the guys who are trying to play are being benched. Patrick Nemeth cannot play another game. He can't. He can't. He can't skate. And you sat Braden Schneider for Patrick Nemeth. When Justin Braun can play and has played the left side before. I'm tired of this. Gerard Gallant should have called a timeout after the second goal. The team was clearly reeling. They were down. They were out of it. They looked like they were just lost and floating away at sea. And Gerard Gallant refused to call timeout, refused to stop New Jersey's momentum. And he just let it go. And he kept Igor Shesterkin in there so that he let up 5 fucking goals. When Igor was clearly rattled, the first goal should have never counted. That was bullshit. I don't understand why these referees continue to let them poke away at pucks that are under Igor Shesterkin. Well, yeah, I'm here. So that's all that counts, I guess. Right? Because that's what the Rangers have done. Shown up and just not giving a shit about playing, because 60 minutes of hockey is impossible to ask for this team. I don't know why, but 60 minutes of hockey has not been played all year. There's not been one game where they played 60 minutes worth of hockey. One game. I challenge any of you to find me that one game. Go ahead. I'll wait. I'll wait. Somebody got it for me? Someone? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Anyone? I just don't get it. Yeah, Kopp played all right. But why are we benching Lafreniere for Kopp? What is that going to accomplish? How about Ryan Reeves, who can't play against faster, more skilled teams, takes a seat? How about Ryan Reeves takes a seat? Not even preseason. There was no preseason game where they played like that. There's nothing. There isn't a game where they played 60 minutes under Gallant. They don't know what 60 minutes is. They don't. They quit after the first period. They quit. They quit because they're a gutless bunch of fucking cowards. That's it. Cowards. Cowards. I have never seen such spineless fucking play in my life. I'm going to reference a brand new song. And I said, I've seen more spine in jellyfish. I've seen more guts in 11-year-old kids. Fuck you, Rangers. Fuck you. That's what you do to Igor Shesterkin, the guy that's been holding your season up all season? The guy every night who comes out there and gives everything he has behind a defense doesn't get two shit in front of him? Maybe Igor is finally done. And you know what? I hate to see it because he's blowing a chance at a Hart Trophy. But you know what? If he blows a chance at a Hart Trophy to get this team to actually play some fucking semblance of the defense in front of him, some fucking semblance of defense, then maybe he's doing what's best for this team in the long run. And yeah, there is no fucking captain on this team. I don't want to hear anything about a fucking captain. There has been no fucking improvement in leadership on this team. None whatsoever. Whatsoever. I am waiting for someone to step up and give me some sort of semblance of a leader. Nothing. Nothing. Zibanejad? Nope. Kreider? Don't ever talk to me about Kreider for captain ever again. I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if he goes off for 20 goals in the next 10 games. I don't want to hear it. Chris Kreider is not captain material. Not. Adam Fox is not captain material. Ryan Lindgren is not captain material. I don't know if this team has a captain. But I can tell you right now, none of them deserve to see anytime soon. I don't know if there's a captain on this team 5 years down the road. But nobody deserves it in the next few years. Unless they bring in somebody from the outside that changes everything. Nothing. There is nothing about this team that resembles. This is not a playoff team right now. No, it's not one game. That's the problem, Julian. It's not one game. We saw this against Vancouver. We saw this against St. Louis. We saw this against Minnesota. We saw this against Edmonton. This is the same type of shit that's been going on throughout the season. It's just here and there are games like this. But in the last 30 days, they have had 3 games like this. 3. Pathetic. Just inexcusable, indefensible, just awful fucking efforts. Carolina killed them. And this is the big thing. Goalies mask a lot of the problems, as Jeff said. Nemeth was on for at least 2. I think 3. But Nemeth can't play over Schneider. Justin Braun has to go play on the left side. and Schneider has to be playing. Would that have made a difference? Yeah. I don't know if it would have ultimately won them the game, but okay. So it was 4. I don't know. You know what? Honestly, after goal number 5, I lost focus. I'm not going to lie to you. I lost focus because this team is such a fucking disgrace right now. It's a disgrace. And I can't believe that this team could get called out by Gerard Gallant after that shit effort against St. Louis. And then less than, 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later, still come back and have another even worse effort than this. I don't understand it. I don't understand how this team continues to just not play like this. There is no saving. Hold on. This comment is what I meant to think from Brandon. There's no saving this team. They are getting killed in the playoffs. They're getting killed. There is no way in hell that this team is doing anything in the playoffs. And I can tell you right now, it doesn't matter if you call back Vitaly Kravtsov. Gallant ain't going to play him. He'll blame him instead of blaming someone like Dryden Hunt, who fucking sucks. Or Ryan Reeves, who has been useless for the last few weeks at the very least. Adam Fox. Doesn't care. Didn't care. Played great in the first period, but just didn't care the rest of the game. Looked disinterested. Ryan Lindgren, I don't know if he's been tired of dragging Ryan Lindgren's stupid ass around, but that pairing needs to be broken up. Switch it up because it's not working. It's not working. They're horrendous at even strength on defense. Horrendous. And you know what? They didn't lose because of this, but I really wonder how this team just doesn't get penalties. Like, how are they not generating penalties in that first period? How did they not get one power play until the third period? Especially with the first period they had. I'm tired of seeing this. And then the first goal, puck underneath Igor. And they just can jam away at it. And no whistle. But the rule is that once the sight is lost to the puck, it's supposed to be blown dead. I don't know who said what to piss off the NHL, but there's clearly an agenda going on here with that. Is it why they lost? No. But I'm just... I clearly see something going on here where the Rangers are not getting penalties. And yeah, Tampa Bay, there was penalties called, but that's because Tampa Bay is one of the most penalized teams in the friggin' league. I'm over it. I'm done. I'm over it. I have nothing to say here anymore. Keandre Miller can turn over the puck 15 times a day. And anyone else, like Zach Jones, can get sent to Hartford on a bus. But Keandre Miller can't. Jacob Trouba. The goal that was scored right after Kreider fucking made the extra pass on that shorthanded 2-on-1, the 6th goal. What was Jacob Trouba doing all the way down there? What were you doing? 2 guys were already in, and you're a third man in? What are you doing there? What are you doing? One of the worst games of the season from him. Just awful. Awful, awful, awful defense. Awful. He needs to sit. He needs to sit. Keandre Miller needs to sit. Adam Fox needs to sit. Ryan Lindgren needs to sit. Patrick Nemeth needs to never play another game in the NHL ever again. I don't understand how you sat a defender that's actually playing well. He had a couple of games where he struggled against 2 legitimate cup threats. And they benched him in favor of Patrick fucking Nemeth? Jesus Christ. This club, this team, this organization, from their coaching to their front office, shows zero competence. They are the most piss poorly run organization in the NHL right now. You're screwing up the development of 2 consecutive top 2 picks. And you're continuing to play guys who don't belong in the NHL. And then you have a coach that somehow can't get his players to play. They take entire periods off. I don't know what it is, but if Gallant's going to continue to let this shit happen, he's got to go. He's got to go. And he probably will end up going. And this is probably why he's been done with this. This is probably why he's been dumped by Florida, dumped by Vegas. You know what? I tried to look past this, but something isn't right with all this. And now, enough is enough with this crap. I don't want to hear any of this crap about favorites and all this other stuff and all coaches do it. No. It's inexplicable that you play guys like Nemeth, guys like McKegg, guys like Hunt. Those guys all need to stop playing. And this is on Gallant. It's on Gallant. It's on Gallant. You continue to play these guys who can't play. And that's it. That's it. No, we have no way of actually knowing this, Amanda. That's speculation and conjecture at best. Could it be? Sure. But none of us have any way of knowing this. Unless you have an inside source and unless you have proof, I don't want to hear that from anybody. I don't. Sorry, but I don't. Because of right now, we have no way of proving that. Zero. Unless you got a message from Chris Drury himself or a highly ranked member of the front office, I'm going to take that with a grain of salt and tell you that it's nothing but conjecture. I get why you think it, but you have no proof, and neither do I. Sure, but it's inexcusable, David. Sure, you could say this. You can continue to say this. But it doesn't make what I'm saying any less true, and it doesn't make what's going on any less real. Because let's face it, that's what's happening. That is what's happening right now. These guys continue to screw up left and right, and there is zero accountability for those guys. Zero. And it continues to happen because there is zero accountability shown for those guys. When is enough enough? That's how, you know what? If the locker room is doing this, if this can happen 3 times in less than 4 weeks, 3 times in 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever the span is, because it was 2 weeks ago that the Minnesota and St. Louis games. So 3 times in the last 2 weeks that this can happen, then I think you're pretty fucking close to losing the locker room as is. So if you're gonna tell me that we're risking losing the locker room by actually holding people accountable, then good. Then you know what? Maybe some of these toxic assholes need to get the fuck out. Maybe Ryan Lindgren should be shipped to Arizona for Jacob Chikrin. Because I'm not paying Ryan Lindgren $5 to $6 million a year to be a friggin' shit show on the first pairing when his deal ends after in 2 years. No, thank you. No, thank you. No. Nope, you're not worth it. You're not worth it. Give me Braden Schneider on a second pairing. That's my physical presence. Put Jacob Chikrin into this lineup. Adam Fox don't want to play? Sit him. If Brian fucking Leach can get sat by Mike Keenan, then Adam fucking Fox can be sat by Gerard Gallant. If Brian fucking Leach can be traded to Chicago for Chris Chelios by Mike Keenan and the New York Post, then Adam fucking Fox can sit a game and get a fucking message sent to him. Wake up! I'm tired of this shit. I fucking had it. $9.5 million of what? Shit? Shit fucking defense? Yeah, you think because you got a Norris Trophy that you have an excuse to not fucking show up on a nightly basis, you arrogant fuck? Yeah, prove me wrong, shithead. Go ahead. Prove me wrong, you soft fuck. Prove me wrong. Because you're playing like you don't give a shit, and you're playing like a fucking coward. Disgusting. You think you want a fucking captaincy. Again, Greg, it's not one fucking game. Multiple games. We're saying this shit after Edmonton. Said this shit after Vancouver. Said this shit after Minnesota. Said this shit after St. Louis. When is enough enough? Let's see how they respond. Oh, yeah, with another great fucking effort against Pittsburgh. That'll be great. That'll be fucking great. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe they'll let up a few less goals and they'll score one goal in that game because they didn't want to show up to play. You know what? Maybe they deserve to miss the playoffs. You know what? I'm sure that Columbus would actually love to make the playoffs. It's just that they don't have a fucking talent to do it. Another game where they show up and play 10 minutes worth of hockey, maybe 20 minutes against the shit team, and then not fucking show up. Terrible. Terrible fucking loss. Terrible. Why should any of us care if they don't care? And here we are, the suckers that continue to watch this shit. This goes beyond Dolan. This goes beyond Dolan. Dolan fucked a lot of things up by putting his hands on the team. But I'll tell you right now, this goes beyond Dolan. It's stupid. Because you have a coach that's just sitting back, nonchalant, just doing nothing, watching this team just do whatever. There comes a time where you need a disciplinarian. You need a guy to come in. And you know what this reminds me of? 92, 93, all over again. Roger Nielsen couldn't get the team to show up and play in the big moments. Yes, Brian Leach hurt his ankle that year. Drunk or not, we don't know. We heard everything about Brian Leach, supposedly. But it was black ice or whatever he slipped on. I don't know. But Brian Leach, screwed himself up. But that team needed a disciplinarian. This team needs a disciplinarian. You know what, Julian? I wish I could say I trust Gallant to get his head out of his ass and make lineup changes. Because the lineup changes he's made haven't helped this team out. He hadn't helped this team out at all. What has he done? Who has he held accountable? Zach Jones? Alexis Lafreniere? everyone that he's held accountable is like age 22 or younger. I've seen nothing going on. The problem with Quinn is that Quinn was a hard ass who didn't know what the fuck he was doing. This team needs a disciplinarian that knows what the fuck they're doing. That's why Keenan was brought in 94, in 93, 94. That's why Keenan was brought in. Because they needed somebody that was going to stay on their ass and make them responsible. But nope, Gallant just laissez-faire. You saw that tonight, Diane. That's what happened. You saw that tonight. Nope, and Scotty Bowman is probably available like he was in 94. Ended up going to Detroit. Scotty Bowman is not going to coach now, I'll tell you that, at 80-something years old. It's awful. This team needs a disciplinarian. Gerard Gallant is not that. I have nothing to say good about Gallant right now. He cost the team this game. Well, if you don't hire a disciplinarian long term, then this team ain't going to win. Because this team cannot play for a guy who ain't going to discipline them. They clearly don't. Continuous bad efforts from this team, left and right. It's a joke. I'm done. I've seen enough to know that this ain't going to change. It's not going to change. I have zero to believe. I'm not saying fire Gallant right now. I would look in the offseason and seriously take a look at what's going on with this team. Because all of the times that they talked about, oh, well, they didn't respond well, to Quinn down the stretch. Okay. And what did Quinn do? Quinn held the wrong players accountable. And yeah, sure, it's not going to be resolved this year. So, and yeah, that's kind of my point, Mike. It's kind of my point. Actually, not even kind of my point. It is my fucking point. I'm not yelling at you, but it's the point that I've been making all year. How many times have you seen me on these videos say they have to play a full 60. They have to play a full 60. Not playing a full 60 is going to be a problem that bites them in the ass down the stretch. How many times have I fucking said this, guys and girls? How many fucking times have I said this? Can someone tell me? I'm pretty sure that I've said this almost every game that I've done one of these for. Tired of it. Sick and fucking tired of it. And you want to know why they won't, Rick? You want to know why they won't look at themselves in the mirror, Rick? Because they're a bunch of chicken shit cowards. This is a soft fucking team. Spineless. Chicken shit cowards. Just like the Dropkick Murphys song. Chicken shit conformist. More like chicken shit coward. Barry Trotz would weed out a bunch of guys who don't want to play. Barry Trotz would also ruin some of the young talent on the team. He would bring in a bunch of veterans that would get the job done. But he would ruin, like Keenan, he would ruin some of the young talent on the team. It's just, I come to a point where I don't know if Gallant is the answer going forward. I don't know, because these efforts continue. These efforts continue. They don't play a full 60 minutes. They don't show up against teams that they should kick the literal shit out of. I don't even know anymore. I wanted Peter Laviolette about 8 years ago. Right after the Stanley Cup final run, I wanted them to fire Alain Vigneault, and I wanted Peter Laviolette. And I got shit on for that. But I will tell you something right now. Peter Laviolette would have changed a lot of things around, and a lot of things different. The guy like Laviolette wouldn't have let a lot of these efforts over the years happen. I'm trying to. Why is it not? Yeah. What the hell was that? There we go. Sutter was available, as goalkeeper says, and Drury went with Gallant. We all wanted Gallant. I would say 95% of us did. I know I did. And I thought that Sutter would have never meshed here, but I'm starting to see that Sutter is needed here. But he's going nowhere now because he's back in Calgary. The Capitals aren't any better, and they have more talent than I don't know. That's debatable. The Capitals aren't the team. The problem with the Capitals team is that on paper their team looks great because they have an aging core. So it's an aging core, and you don't know how many years left you have of Ovechkin. You don't know how many years you have left of Oshie. I just don't understand what they think that they're going to accomplish with this roster. There better be some serious changes. Ryan Strome needs to go. Ryan Strome needs to go. I don't want him back after this season. I've seen enough of his play to know that this is going to continue, and you're not going to win with him as a number 2 center. I don't care about upsetting Artemi Panarin at this point anymore, because those two just feed. I mean, Artemi Panarin needs a difference maker on his line, and Ryan Strome is not a difference maker. He's a passenger. I don't understand it. I really don't. And yeah, Panarin's going to have to get over it. Because if he wants to win a Stanley Cup, Ryan Strome is number 2 center. It ain't cutting it. It ain't cutting it. Ryan Lindgren on your first pair defense, ain't cutting it. Keandre Miller, how long are you going to wait around for this guy to be anything better than Brady Shea? And I'm not talking about rookie Brady Shea. I'm talking about 2018 to now Brady Shea. Jacob Trouba just continues to get worse and worse defensively. He cannot play defense. And you signed him to an $8 million a year deal, Gorton. Like, for all the praise that Jeff Gorton got, like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I personally would move on from Miller. I would move on from Miller. Yeah, I agree with this. Kopp isn't going to cut it as a second-line center. Anybody who thinks Andrew Kopp is going to work as a second-line center, I think you're sadly mistaken. And I like Andrew Kopp. But Andrew Kopp is a slightly better version of Nick Bonino, and that's it. That's it. Nemeth can't play anymore. He can't. Grandma doesn't belong in the NHL. I said it, and I stand by it. I don't care what any athletic says. Nemeth sucks. He sucks. He can't skate. He can't close gaps. And no, Kopp isn't an upgrade over Strome. Redden, just because they gave so much money to Redden at the time under the cap, but they were able to bury Redden in Hartford. Posting about that, and I knew it was going to happen. It's not like you were. I don't mean to talk down on you, but it really wasn't a bold prediction. It wasn't. And I think any that knew anything about this team and the way that this front office and the coach works knew that Nemeth was going to play. Sit. Because Gallant's a fucking idiot, apparently. When did I say that wouldn't happen? I probably said it shouldn't, but when did I say it wouldn't? I'd love to see that. And it's not even just hating Nemeth. And it's not just about 100 people, 100 million or whatever hating Nemeth. This guy objectively cannot play. He cannot play. He can't skate. He can't close gaps. He can't make simple outlet passes. I just think that I think that they I think Keandre Miller is just overhyped, overrated. There's nothing that separates him. Actually, Brady Shea at his age was better than Keandre Miller. And I don't want to hear anything about, Keandre Miller's only played 5 years on defense. Zach Jones was a center until he was 15. Yeah, John, I didn't like losing Jacques Martin. I actually said that when they let him go. I didn't like that move. I didn't like that move at all. I don't think Mike Kelly's a good assistant. I didn't like. I like Gord Murphy in Hartford. Should have kept him there, and they should have kept Jacques Martin. I don't understand. Every team that Jacques Martin coached was always really good defensively when he had the talent around him. In Ottawa, he had the talent. Yeah, everyone hoped that Schneider was going to play on the right side with Braun on the left. But this coaching staff does not get it. They don't. It's inexcusable. You know what? I get that there's some sort of thing to be said for experience, but when that level of experience isn't great and the player is objectively awful at hockey, why are we playing that in the lineup? No, it's not going to all be forgotten because this is a problem that's going to come up time and time again. Because they continue to play players that don't belong in this lineup. Get Dryden Hunt out of that lineup. Put Julian Gauthier in there and see what he can do at this point. Laurie Painiemi. Laurie Painiemi. Give me something other than this. I would rather see Brendan Hoffman in the lineup when the season ends. And it is a deep problem. It's a very deep problem because this club continues to employ players. It's just, oh, wow. This is actually a great point because I said that they should have called their timeout after the second goal. But how did Gallant never call the timeout? How? It just, that's just boneheaded coaching. Boneheaded. Should have been called not after the third goal, after the second goal. The second goal. After that game was tied, the momentum should have stopped there. You stop the momentum there. Should have been called the second goal, not the third. And yes, Matador, you're absolutely right about that. When there's a loss of this type of magnitude and the entire team fails to show up, it's on the coach. Roger Nielsen got the axe at the end of the 92-93 season because of a lot of efforts like that down the stretch. David Quinn got the axe after the end of last season because there were a lot of efforts like that down the stretch last year. This is on Gallant. This is absolutely on Gallant. Yeah, and this team has exposed more than a corrupt politician in an election year. Excellent post, Jeff. And the bums just continue to play. I would call up a bunch of players from Hartford and I would send a message. You want to send a message? Show some balls. Bench some players against Pittsburgh. Because this is really the point here. What was the point of the rebuild if you're going to continue to do this? Yeah, Brian fucking Leach. That's his middle name. I don't care what anybody says anymore. It just, if Brian Leach can be traded by the New York Post and Mike Keenan to Chicago for Chris Chelios, and he can be sat against Anaheim after a Terry Yake hat trick, then Adam Fox can sit too. And I think there's a lot of things that have gone to Adam Fox's head. I think a lot of things have gone to Adam Fox's head. I just see somebody who just skates around and he tries the same moves over and over again, hoping that they'll work, and they don't. And then when they don't, he just gives up. Light a fire under his ass. Sit him. No. Not 8.5, 9.5. Just remember that. Highest paid defenseman in the league. No, sorry, not the highest paid defenseman, but of the younger generation he is. Sorry. Of like the Makars and the Joe and the McAvoys, he's paid more than all those guys. Doughty and Carlson make more, but it's just, yeah. Country Club reminds me of the Country Club attitude of the early 2000s and the late 90s and the dark ages. Panarin just didn't want to show up tonight for until that Strome goal was scored. Panarin didn't want to show up. I think Fox needs to sit a game. I think there needs to be a message sent. I think you him and you let him know that efforts like the effort he gave tonight are unacceptable. Unacceptable. If Gallant had a fucking pair of balls, he'd do it. But he won't. He won't. You know what? Artemi Panarin wasn't the only reason why they lost, but show up and care like you show up and play like you fucking care. Artemi Panarin didn't care tonight. He didn't. He played a perimeter game. He didn't care. And I get it. I get it. It's tough trying to drive a play on a line where you got two guys who can't hold their own fucking weight in Strome and Vetrano. Vetrano has just been meh. Thank God it was only a 4th round pick for him. It's enough is enough. I really don't have a whole lot to say anymore. I think I'm done for tonight because I'm done ranting about this shit. I've put too much effort into something that requires little to no effort because they don't want to do anything. So thank you all for coming on. I appreciate it. But I really don't have anything left to say. What a fucking pathetic effort. Have a good night.